September really like came and went like it has somewhere to be. And honestly, I'm not complaining, but also I am just a little bit because I need more time to do things. Stop. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're here. September is almost over. October is right around the corner. And yeah, it's time for my September update. Hey, hello, my name is JoJo and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. So typically I would start talking about what is going on? What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? What is happening? What's wrong? What are you trying to get to? What's wrong? Talk to me, what's going on? What are you trying to get to that you can't get to outside? I think it's one of the lantern flies. I think he's seeing a lantern fly somewhere and he's trying to get to it. Anyway, so typically I would start talking about classes first, but I am not taking any classes this semester. Actually, before I get into any of that, so I just want to announce once again that I am trying to start up my grad student support group that a lot of y'all expressed interest in when I posted a poll about it on, oh my God, on my community tab. And so I just want to re-announce here. I announced it in my last video. Was it my last? No, the video before my last video. And also on my community tab. But if you missed both of those, I'm trying to get it started. I'm really hoping to get this off the ground this month. Just a quick reminder of how you can join. If you join the lowest tier of my channel membership, which is 99 cents per month, you will get access to the Discord group that I have started for it. And also, once enough people have joined, I will survey the group to find out when like everyone's schedule can align so we can have the group meetings just to like talk and vent and share resources and offer support and all of that. But I can't do any of that yet because only one person has joined since I launched it. That was kind of sad because I know so many people seemed interested when I first announced it or when I first mentioned it, and only one person has joined so far. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And I'm sorry that like we haven't been able to do anything yet, but yeah, I'm hoping more people will join so that I can get this group off the ground because I'm really looking forward to doing it. So yeah, anyway, back to the update. So like I was saying, I usually start off talking about classes, but I'm not taking any classes this semester. So instead I will talk about the class that I'm teaching this semester, which is abnormal psychology. The full name is Fundamentals of Abnormal Psychology. And honestly, it's been like really great so far. I'm teaching undergrads. It's like a big class, like 54, 55 students. And generally undergrads are like very opinionated, very much have their own thoughts, beliefs that they like to share. They like to talk about their own experiences. And so I feel like because I'm teaching undergrads, that alone keeps the class interesting. Like they're very into the discussions that we have. The discussions end up being really fruitful and engaging, which I love. We've had a couple of debates so far in the class that have got a little spicy. I do my best to try to reel it in, but I also don't want to like silence anyone, and generally I love hearing what they have to say anyway. But the other thing that just naturally makes this class very interesting is that it's an abnormal psych class. And from my own experience when I took this class in undergrad, and also just knowing the sort of general vibe of the students who go to my school, people are interested in this class because they're dealing with their own shit that they want to learn more about, or that they want to have an opportunity to talk about. And so that makes the class even more interesting, because then everyone's like wanting to talk about their own experiences with things, with mental health, with, you know, mental illness. And the class overall has been like really respectful to people who are speaking in the discussions. And so yeah, I feel like generally the class has been really good. I've really enjoyed teaching it so far. About half of the class is discussion based, like entirely discussion based. So even though the class meets twice a week, I only lecture on one of the days we meet. And then on the other day, it's just a pure, like the entire class is taken up by discussion, which they seem to like. And also I love because it means one less lecture I have to put together every week. He is going through some things right now. So yeah, I feel like it's gone really well, like much better than I anticipated it would. I'm liking it much more than I thought I would. Not saying that like I'm gonna end up teaching part-time as I continue my career. This is definitely not something I'm probably going to continue past this year, just because it's a lot of work. That's something they don't tell you. Teaching a class is a lot of work. Like I thought it would be a bit easier in the sense that like my workload would be easier because like, oh, I'm not taking any classes, which means I have like no assignments, no papers due, none of that. But all of that time that I'm not spending reading papers and writing papers and doing like class assignments is just being taken up by the fact that I have to prepare lectures and prepare materials for discussions and respond to student emails, which I get a lot of. I get a lot of emails from my students. And like, it's a lot of work. But like, I don't mind it, I guess, because this is a class that I've wanted to teach at some point since my first year in my program, when I found out that it was a class that was offered on campus. Oh, I didn't explain what the class is. Abnormal psychology basically just means that I'm teaching the mental health disorders that are in the DSM. So anyway, moving on. So the next thing is clinical work, and that is also going really well. I feel like a broken record because I keep saying this, but for those who may not know, I stayed at my externship from last year part-time, and then I started a new externship this year full-time. The reason I'm able to do that is because I'm not taking any classes this semester. And so basically I'm able to sort of like double up in a way on externship. So I am still seeing 3 patients at my externship from last year, and I'll probably maintain my caseload at 3 since I'm only part-time there. And then my new externship, my full-time externship this year is at a VA, which means I'm working entirely with veterans, and also I have 2 patients that are still active duty right now, I think. Anyway, I'm working entirely with people who are in, you know, the armed forces. The way my placement at the VA is set up, so the VA that I'm at has like a main hospital and then has like satellite hospitals that are under the umbrella of the big main hospital, but that are just more convenient for people who are farther away. I'm at one of the satellite hospitals, I'm not at the main hospital. And so I'm seeing vets from a very, like a much smaller area of New York. And it's like, it's been nice because like all of the people who come to the satellite hospital basically know each other because they've been coming to the hospital for decades at this point. They're like a little family. My first day was actually really nice because I sat in on one of the groups that my supervisor runs for the older Vietnam vets. And they like literally like welcomed me with open arms. It was like I was like part of the family immediately. Like I walked in and they were like, one of the guys was like, I saved you a chair. It was really sweet. So it's been like a very welcoming experience, which has been nice. And the other thing about it is that like my supervisor is really chill and sort of like, much like my externship last year where I sort of had the freedom to sort of take my own approach in my sessions, depending on what I felt was the most useful or helpful to the patient, and sort of like do psychoanalytic work, but also like pull in like integrative stuff if I felt like it was helpful. My supervisor this year at the VA is almost exactly the same way, in that like I can sort of have whatever approach to each of my sessions that I feel is useful or helpful to the patient at that moment. So like naturally, yes, like CBT is sort of like the go-to for this population, but also like she's not opposed to me like doing more psychodynamic or psychoanalytic work if I feel like that's useful in some ways. So we'll see how the rest of this year goes, but I'm really liking it so far. Okay, and then research. So I am still working on dissertation stuff. IRB is still not submitted, but I now have 2 master's students that have agreed to, or not agreed, but volunteered to help me with my dissertation research. So that should make things a bit easier and manageable on my part. One of them is actually a master's student that was helping me last year. When I was working on my proposal, they decided that they wanted to keep working with me, which was really nice. And I appreciate them so much. So yeah, there's that. I'm also working on a paper. With my research advisor and a few other folks in the lab. We're collaborating on a paper that my advisor got invited to write for a journal. And she asked all of us, and naturally I'm incapable of saying no. And so I agreed to help co-write the paper. We've had a few meetings so far, and it's honestly like, it's not seeming like it's gonna be that bad, because she wants to keep the paper as short as possible. And so each of our sections, like there's one section that I'm taking the lead on, and then another section that I am sort of like collaborating with a couple of other folks. We're gonna like write together. But each section only has to be like 750, 1,000 words max, which I feel like I can do. And she wants us to have a rough draft by the end of October, but she wants the paper to be submitted by the end of the semester. And so I'm thinking like 750 words in 3 months, I can do that. And we have like the general structure of the paper sort of figured out already. So it's really just writing it that is going to be the biggest obstacle here, is just finding time to actually sit down and write, which is proving to be quite difficult because I am much busier this semester than I think I anticipated I would be somehow, even though it sounds like I'm doing much less because I'm not taking 2, 3, 4 classes. So yeah, I'm not really sure how I ended up here, but I'm here, so I gotta figure it out. Let's see what else is going on research wise. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for research. Okay, cool. And so yeah, I guess the other thing, I am applying to internship this year. Internship applications are due in a little over a month, but that's not actually a lot of time. And that's what I meant when I was saying like, I'm not complaining about how quickly September went by, but also I am a little bit, because I need more time to do things. I have actually, annoyingly made much less progress on my internship applications than I would have liked to have made. by this point. And I think that's because of a combination of like, again, I just somehow seem to be much busier this semester than I anticipated I would be, considering I'm not taking classes. And also just like my own anxious procrastination. I feel like I am so nervous about internship applications because it is just this thing that my program has made such a big deal since orientation day. Like it is like the thing, right? Like there's also the dissertation, but like internship is like the thing. It's like the most important thing. And I will say, for them to keep making it seem like the most important part of our journey, they are doing a really shitty job of supporting us through it. I honestly, I'm not even gonna get into it, because if I were to go on a rant about how unsupportive my program has been through this internship application process so far, I would be sitting here for like another 20-30 minutes. And it's not just me, it's everyone who is applying to internship this year has said that there has just been a major lack of support from the program. Like my program has dropped the ball multiple times when it comes to internship applications this year, like in terms of like the process and like supporting us through it. And I feel like that's just making me even more nervous about it, because like I've spoken to a couple of my co-externs at the VA who have like dedicated like support admin for this process, or like they have someone that they are like assigned to work with through this process, and they are just supported from start to finish. And like my program doesn't have that, and so I just feel so underprepared. Granted, I have like an amazing mentor and my research advisor is amazing, but I feel like that's not their job. You know, like it's hard for me to explain, but I feel like the majority of the burden of preparing us for this process and supporting us through this process should fall on program admin, and it's just not there. Anyway, yeah, I'm not about to go on a whole rant about this, because we will be sitting here forever, but just know I am feeling very I'm ready for this to be over. And I guess this will just like merge into my overall feeling so far. The amount of stress that I've been feeling has been having the craziest effects on my body. And I've been like having to make multiple visits to my doctor, because we're currently trying to figure out what's going on with my body. But I know that at the root of it is the stress that I'm feeling. Physically, I am not feeling the best right now. Getting through every day has been physically just such a task. Mentally, I'm still feeling okay for now. Y'all know I say this every time. I always start off every semester feeling really good, and then inevitably it just stops feeling good. So I'm definitely burnt out. I'm definitely still burnt out. Even though I took a whole month off in July, I'm definitely still burnt out. But like compared to last year or last semester, when like it felt impossible to do things because like mentally I just couldn't function, now it feels like the opposite is true. Like mentally I can like the wheels are turning, the gears are turning, right? I know what I gotta do. I have like a procedure in my head of what I need to do, when I need to do it, but it's like the physical is not allowing me to function. Like my body just feels drained all the time. So yeah, that's where I'm at. We're only a month in. we've only gotten through September. So I'm not looking forward to seeing where this is gonna go. I'm hoping my doctor and I can get whatever's going on with me figured out so that I can start doing something about it, because if I keep feeling like this, I'm probably not gonna be able to get through this semester. I just want one semester where like my life doesn't feel like it's falling apart. So anyway, yeah. Not to end on like such a low note. So I guess ending on a positive note. Yeah, I mean, despite how I'm feeling physically, I'm really enjoying everything that I'm doing this semester. I think for the first time since I started my program, I am enjoying teaching. I am enjoying both of my externships. I'm still very much in love with the research that I am doing for my dissertation. And so in that aspect, like, things feel really good. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. If you just started your semester, let me know how things are going for you down in the comments. And also please don't forget that if you are interested in the grad student support group that I'm trying to start, please go ahead and join my channel membership so we can get that up and running. I would really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to get this going. So yeah, hopefully that's something that we can start this month. But yeah, other than that, leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. And I'll see you in my next one.